Hi, Mark here. Today I'm going to do something I haven't done before. It's April 18th, 2013, and I'm going to try grafting some tomato plants. I've read about this, looking up for greenhouse tomatoes and whatnot, and I thought I'd try it. I don't have a greenhouse that I'm going to grow them in. I'm going to grow them in outside. These can get kind of pricey if you buy them already grafted. It seems to be the end thing lately, selling grafted tomatoes, anywhere from $6 a plant to $9, $10 a plant just for one plant that's grafted. I don't think it's going to be too difficult. What I have here, I'll show you this up a little closer. This is the little grafting clip. There's two different varieties of these clips that they use. What I got here is silicone grafting clips. The size I got is 2.0 millimeters. And you'll see how tiny that really is. The smaller one is 1.5 millimeters. And the other type that they sell is a spring-loaded grafting clip. And just as the name implies, it's got springs in it. It's for a bigger, if you're going to be grafting bigger plants. They got a couple different sizes for that too, anywhere from 1/8 inch stem to 1/4 inch stem diameter. And those are a little bit stronger, and you have to make sure that you take them off. These little silicone jobs, apparently what happens is, as the tomato plant, you put them on, graft the tomatoes together, put it on, and as the graft takes, the stem expands, these should fall off. So we're hoping that happens. Let's bring this up closer and see if I can get a... Yeah, I'll have to focus this a little bit. I'll get back here and... Okay, can you see it? I guess that's it. That's all the bigger that thing is. That's a 2.0 millimeter. Alright, so we'll go over to the workbench there and we'll graft some tomato plants. Get up over here, ready to go. The ones I got sitting right there, those babies, those are a new one. I haven't tried this one. The wife found them in Johnny's. They're Rosso Sicilian. Imagine that means Sicilian rose. And it's an interesting looking tomato. I'll put a picture in there if I can find one. And the two I've got grafted already is a giant Belgium. That's this one. Yeah, I'll get that over there for you. Giant Belgium. You can maybe see my little clips on there. And I also got a one called Saldecki. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a Polish tomato. Tried that last year and they're really good. A larger size tomato. So what you have to do here, here's my Maxiforts. The hard part I've noticed is growing these at the right time. I started these at the same time as I started these other ones. And they grow at a little bit different rates. So, what we want to do is find two that are close together. I'll put a link down below for another guy's YouTube, and he's really shows this quite well. What we want to do is cut. Here's a Sicilian. I'm going to cut that kind of low here. I'll try to, oops, that's a little tougher than I expected. And then, as they talk about cutting above or below these cotyledons, or whatever they call these false leaves. So we want to find about where, my main thing here is to find about where that stem is the closest. It's just below that. So I cut that at a 45-degree angle. They recommend using a double-bladed razor, which probably would be better. They're thinner, but this seems to be pretty sharp. You want a really sharp razor when you do this. So we're just going to cut that. 45-degree angle, hopefully. Now here's kind of the tricky part for me. You can take some of these leaves off, leave some of them on. The idea there is if you take some off, it helps keep them from expiring too much water. The other thing, don't water these immediately before you do this. Tomato plants tend to take up water really quick, and it could actually push that right off, right apart. So we're going to put this little clip on there. I hope I'm doing this so that you can see it. Let's see. Whoops. Sorry about that. Let's get in on that a little better. And that clip on there, you can see how tiny that is. And we got to make sure now that these two 45-degree angles line up. I'll put that on there. Put that one in top. And I do believe I got it. This is the first time I've ever tried this. Not quite sure how well it's going to work for me. Hopefully it'll work really well. What I'd like to do is plant some of these tomatoes side by side, see which ones do the best. So that's what there is to it. So, once these are done, we're going to put them in a low light area. You don't want to water them too much or too fast. These are fairly damp yet. And take her from there. The ones that survive, well, that'll be good. Now it's 2 weeks later, almost. Let's see, today is April 30th. Last day, April 31st, 30th. And the tomato's been sitting there now for, since the 18th. Looks like every one of my grafts is taken. And I'll try to get a little closer here so we can see them better. Don't get too shaky. And here we go. Looks like they're healing up pretty darn good. Don't see any that has fallen over. Some I had to kind of prop up to get a little leggy. Long one back there. I still got a couple of Maxiforts in there that I didn't graft anything on. There's one there. You can see no graft clip. Let's see how close we can get with this camera. Or I can't. Okay, there you go. You can see it's healing up good. See how that clip is expanding? Eventually that'll fall off of there. There's another one there. Healing up good. Remember I told you don't plant these. If you do this, don't plant that down below where that graft is. We want just the roots stock growing roots. Here's something you don't want to do. This poor little sad guy here. I think I got some lettuce growing in there. Grafted this as an afterthought a couple of days later, and I forgot what I grafted it to. It's one of those deals, I'll mark that later, I'll remember. I think it's aroma. And that one, maybe it's not going to go anywhere. Still got a couple of Maxiforts left in here. So, maybe I'll try grafting aroma. A couple other ones on there. So there they are. Moonglow is good. Well, they're all looking good. Giant Belgium, Tigerella. I can't hardly. They're just looking really good. Just kept a cap over them. Sprayed them about once a day. I'd lift it up and spray it in there to keep the moisture up. This little guy is looking a little sad, but took hold. That's a jelly bean. But I think he's going to be okay. Yeah, whatever. So there you have it. If I can do it, you can do it. You want to try that? Got my supplies, these supplies here from Johnny's Seeds. Might be other places, just do an internet search. Some places, one place I found you could actually buy a kit. They sell it, give you some seeds, the little clips you need, and you're off to a good start.